When I entered the industry, I got a lot of pushback when it came to reaching out to clients as far as listing. It was a lot of, I know you realtors, and I don't want to speak to a realtor and that kind of thing. And I'm like, wow, they don't even know who I am. How I wanted to change that is I just didn't want to come off as like just another realtor. I wanted to come off as the realtor that can be your friend, the realtor that is loyal, the realtor that you can actually trust, and we can have just a conversation. So it was more of turning a sales pitch into a person.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's me, it's Aaron Wittenstein, and I would like to welcome you to Vulcan 7 Roadmap. This is where we speak to agents across the country to learn how they take an additional lot of listings a week, okay? And today we have from Minneapolis, Minnesota, Mr.
Yeah.
James Price. James, how you doing today?
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
So, we were talking a little bit, and so you tell me that, like, you say you're Mr. Nice Guy. Is that correct? Was
Yes.
that the term you used?
Yes. I'm
Okay.
your nice realtors. I
What
lead with personality, my friend. What can I say?
now when you say, like, then, because I mean, I would, I'm not, I'm nice, but I mean, I don't. That's not like the first thing that I say. You know what I mean? So, like, when you say that, I know there's more to it. There's some oomph behind it. Because that
Mhm.
was the first thing out of your mouth.
Yeah.
When you say Mr. Nice Guy, what do you mean by that?
So when I entered the industry, I got a lot of pushback when it came to reaching out to clients as far as listing. It was a lot of, I know you realtors, and I don't want to speak to a realtor and that kind of thing. And I'm like, wow, they don't even know who I am, and they've already have this level of visceral. So how I wanted to change that is I just didn't want to come off as like just another realtor. I wanted to come off as the realtor that can be your friend, the realtor that is loyal, the realtor that you can actually trust, and we can have just a conversation. So it was more of turning a sales pitch into a person.
Huh. Okay. So, all right. So, when you're doing this on the phone, for example, okay, because I'd like to go two ways on this one. But I think that would
Sure.
be. I got an idea in my brain over here. Okay.
Mhm.
So when you're doing this on the phone, how does that? Would you be open to doing a quick role play?
Yeah, let's go for it. Let's try it.
All right. Cool. You want to work expireds or FISBOs or what's dealer's choice?
We will go with expireds.
Expireds. Okay. All right. Give me a shout.
Hi, Aaron. This is James Price. I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about your property on 123 Broadway. Do you have a second?
You're you're like the 17th agent to call me in the last hour or so. Yeah. How can I help you?
Yeah, I completely understand, and I'm not here to sell you on anything or talk to you about selling your property with me. What I'm here to talk to you about is your market value and what the market's doing, and to see if you would be open to discussing what your potential in real estate is.
What do you mean? What my potential in real estate is?
So, if I could net you as much money as possible after your sale, if you decide to sell the property, I'd like to talk to you a little bit about that. It looks like you've been on the market prior. And so I want to talk a little bit about that and see what we can do differently to make your uh, listing a little bit better.
I mean, what could we do to make it better? I mean, what are what are you suggesting?
Well, first, let me ask you a quick question. Tell me a little bit about why you think your property expired.
I have no idea. I mean, that I have no idea. I should have sold gorgeous house, gorgeous house. We did all the work and everything on it, and it's just really nice looking.
Awesome. Well, it looks like from what I've pulled, the market said one thing and the price said a different thing. So I really wanted to talk to you a little bit about the pricing and also the marketing plan that you previously had, as opposed to the marketing plan that I would like to discuss with you. Again, like I said, this is not a sales pitch. This is a conversation just between you and I about what could possibly happen.
Sure, I'm game for that.
Awesome. Should I
Okay.
keep going?
No, I think we're good. I think we're good.
Okay.
I think we're good. So yeah, so it's you have a different way about you because normally I don't go that far in the role play, where it's you're very pleasant to speak with.
Yes.
You're very, very, very pleasant to speak with.
Yeah.
So have you always been that way, or is it
Yeah.
like
Yeah, I'm a firm believer in, a lot of people talk about competition. I'm a firm believer in what's for me is for me. And I'm also a firm believer in resonation. So when I come to you or a seller or somebody with a conversation, I feel like there's that connection that I can grab a hold of that we can resonate together. And it's all about alignment for me for it to work. So not every person that I talk to is going to uh, be open to it. I'm aware of that. But also the people that are open to it and aware, I always get that appointment and go from there.
how do you know when you get that connection with somebody? Like, what's
You want
the
me to be 100% honest? At the end of the day, before I even walk out the door, I meditate. Like I have to get in a good mindset. I think that mentality is everything when you're going into it, and then you got to stay open. One of the things that I do is I look for the pockets to add value. Now, when it comes to expireds or FISBOs, they're not. They already know the game. So they're not going to give you their pain points like a lot of us realtors are looking for. They're not going to easily give those to you. So the longer I'm on a conversation with them and the longer I'm hearing some things about what went wrong, what went right. And also I think it's important to grasp the personality really quick, the energy really quick, the alignment that all plays into the alignment because if you're getting this energy that's like distant, then you're going to have to show empathy a little bit more. If you're getting somebody that's excited, then I can bring it more to the sales side so that I can show how capable I am to sell their property.
so you're really like reading into it on the phone
Absolutely.
call, like
Absolutely.
because I mean a lot of people they just go in there, they do their thing, they're in and out, call it a day, bing bang boom, yes, no, move on, right?
Hmm.
So how can I put this? Is how are you successfully reading the person after having 1 to 2 lines of dialogue with them? Because that's pretty impressive.
Um, Everything is in the tone and their delivery. So, sharp delivery, sharp delivery, tone. There's going to be a little bit more distance when it comes to connection. Um, Open delivery, but a little bit skeptical. I can start to build that bridge of a foundation to begin the side of the conversation.
This is actually
But
really, really
tone is
interesting.
everything.
All right. So, for example, all right, you get me on the phone, like, yeah, what do you want? How are you going to respond to me?
Well, to be honest with you, I have not quite mastered that part yet, but I do take a step back and recognize that, it's not about me. And
Right.
so I just have to bring that pleasant tone um, to me and to what I'm trying to deliver to that person so that they don't feel so attacked. Because I know at the end of the day, I get calls. Everybody knows me as a realtor, and my number is literally everywhere. So I get spam calls all the time that just drives me nuts, right? Um, but for myself, again, I just go back to being that good person that I walk in those shoes every single day and I deliver that tone every single time. And whether they resonate with it, I cannot personally take that on. So I just continue with what I'm doing. Always in the conversation pleasantly. Always.
So you basically you play your game, right?
Yes. Hmm.
And if they're not going to play your game along with you, that just may not be your client. Is that what I'm hearing?
Exactly. Exactly. Exactly.
So what you're saying is in this business we have the right to be picky with who we work with.
Exactly.
Okay,
Think
because
about well, and if you think about it, for instance, these two listings, I'll give you the shirt off my back. One of those listings, to add value, I just saw that this guy had so much stuff in his house, and I was like, "Hey, let me get you a dumpster on me, like $600 out of my pocket." He cleaned out his entire home and did everything. This other one I staged with my own money. So when I work with the client, I'm not just saying that I can sell your house. I'm literally adding risk and value. So if I'm adding risk and value, I do get to choose who I work with.
Right, no, I agree, and I mean, I think that's a lot of people, especially nowadays, are like, I'm going to get whatever I can get, you know, and that mindset that you have, it's an unfortunate mindset because then you just get stressed and you lose your hair and all that crazy stuff happens, and
Let
but
me tell you, I don't you know, I think that the only level of anxiety that I do have, right, is the job isn't over until it's over.
right,
So, your house can, I can put your house up on the market, but it's not over until it's sold. And so there's not a moment from that first phone call um, to the closing table. So that's kind of where that's at. But, I will say this. The only platform that I've ever used is Vulcan 7, and I got there by way of a listing coach, and it worked for me because it taught me how to maneuver in my business when
right,
it comes to tones and understanding, and because these are clients that are quick on their feet. They're not somebody that, has never put their house on the market, bought a house. They're not like your newbies. And so, I needed to be aware of those type of situations and prepared for them, if you will.
exactly, because you got to prepare. You know what I mean? Like preparation is such a big part of it. So I want to touch back on something that you said, a few minutes ago.
Okay,
You said you meditate every day.
I do.
And I've tried. Look at this face, okay?
You're not the first person to tell me that.
Yeah, I've tried. I've tried. So that puts you in your right mind. Is that what I'm hearing? Is that correct?
Yes. It's my time to center myself. Let me tell you, when I first came into this business, everybody knew how to do this business. You get this script, this person here, everybody knew how to do this business, and it was like noise. And then when I would make the call, I would have all that noise in my head, and so I can't really hear the client. I'm trying to figure out who the client is so that I can connect and things of that nature. So I needed to find a quiet space, and it's worked for me. And what I do is I just, every single morning I take 15 to 20 minutes and I just enter like a quiet space where I don't allow my thoughts to run. And I just kind of center myself with, if you will, my higher power. Some people call it God or whatever they call it, but just me and my higher power. And it's just a quiet zone. And once I'm done with that 15 to 20 minutes, I can actually, I feel like I can actually be able to hear the conversation. I can actually maneuver my day in a way that it makes sense and everything flows freely. Because confusion is the worst place to be when it comes to being in this industry.
That's interesting. So every day, 15 or 20 minutes,
Has
come
to.
this, that, or the other, you do that.
Yes.
So is there anything else, any other I don't know if ritual is the right word, but any other thing, that you have on the schedule that you do like that to be able to get yourself to, that place you need to be?
I do have a circle of two friends that keep me, if you will, grounded. I'm human. We're all human. I
Sure.
do have those moments where it was like someone just cursed me out and they have no clue who I am. And then I get off the phone and I'm like, what is this? So I think you have to have a close knit group of people or persons to say, hey, step out of yourself. We don't know who this person is. They're entitled to whatever they are feeling, especially if they're an expired or a FISBO and they've had these experiences that we don't even know about. So those things, like I said, that's not an overnight, that hasn't been an overnight process for me. But the meditating and getting in that quiet space does allow me to understand that this journey is not about me.
Right. It's about helping others. You know what I mean? Because if I said this on a previous roadmap, by the way, I'll say it again. So here's what I wrote, James. I think you'll appreciate this. Remember, people don't sell for fun. They usually have a life changing reason. I'm here to fix their problems. Don't leave them with another weak agent. Do all you have to do to help.
Yes.
And that right there, I'm gonna put your face right next to it, okay?
Yes,
Just because
please do.
that's the exact vibe that I got from you. The
Yeah.
more that I hear you speak.
Yeah, you're there to help. You're there to, I hear a lot of agents say, I want to give you the easiest experiences ever, or something of that nature, or make it as smooth as possible. For me, I'm not guaranteeing that. I'm just guaranteeing that you're going to be okay, that you're going to be calm. Like this whole process, we're working together. You know what I'm doing from start to finish. And hey, I'm here for you regardless of anything. Any time of day, I'm literally here for you. I will give you the shirt off of my back. The only thing that I ask from you is good communication, good resonation, alignment at all times.
All right. So when you say good communication, okay, um, what does that in a perfect world look like? For you and your client.
Um, I think that that is twofold because you want to make sure that I want to make sure that every time I'm talking with the client, we're in a good space. For me,
Right.
I don't bring any negative work energy or whatever to any conversation, um, to a client. I'm always who, how I met them. It's kind of like this weird marriage, or relationship, like when you meet somebody and it's like 7 months down the line, you don't you're not in that to know about your true colors after 7 months, right? Give me the true colors in the very beginning, and
Right.
let's keep a consistent line of that communication, right?
100%.
So it's funny because one of my seller clients, it was early morning and I was having my coffee, and he goes, um, hey, he calls me and he goes, hey, James, how's it going? I'm like, good, it's going good. He goes, oh, you don't sound so happy. And I was like, what? What are you talking about? I am super happy. I literally just cracked my eyes open. So that's probably what you're hearing. But I'm giving them the same James every single time that they call. So I'm looking for that same them as well. And we're at the end of the day, remembering that we're just human. Simple.
See, if I can end it like right now, I would end it. I want to end it on that sentence, but I can't end it on that sentence. But I like that. So we just ended the whole. No, that we're all human, and I think that's
All
so.
human.
And we're all human, at the
We're
beginning
all
and the
human.
middle of the day, we're all human. All right,
Mm.
so let me ask you this, James. You have a brand new agent walks past your door. James, I'm brand new. What is one piece of advice that you have for me? What would that piece of advice be?
Never put yourself out there until you're absolutely ready and learned as much as you can. And also, you're gonna have to watch people that are super successful. Successful. I was in the very, very beginning of my career. Another agent told me to watch Brandon Mulranen's videos, and he swears by Vulcan 7. And I was like, what is this Vulcan 7? Who are you? I got in his listing program and I immediately subscribed to Vulcan 7. So it's like paying attention to the people that are universal. So, and when I mean universal, they literally can work with absolutely anybody and get the job done. And they have a great success rate. Those are the people that you want to model your business off of, not totally, because I'm a firm believer in what Brandon or someone else does will not work for me to the T. I have to bring James to the table. But those pieces that I've learned along the way have helped. And I got to tell this story because this is funny because I'm on one of the top producing teams here in Minnesota. And my teammates and I, we got together to do some Vulcan 7 calls. We were the only three, four that have Vulcan 7. And before any of us started calling, they were like, James, just make sure that you do this. Da, 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 da. Within 8 minutes of dialing, I got a listing appointment. And I was the only person out of that whole team. And these are people that have been in the game much longer than me. And I remember walking away like, wow, James, like it was interesting to watch people, give you this advice, and they're great people. I love them, and they still give me advice to say that it's priceless and I take. But I literally, when I'm going into dialing or anything of that nature, I do uh, uh, remember the things that my listing coach taught me, and I also take a look at the Vulcan Seven scripts as I'm doing it to kind of, because it's a weird match in that I go from James to, if there's an objection, I do look at that script to kind of dial it back in to meet that objection's needs. Um, it was a really interesting thing because you've got to, confidence is also the key to the whole madness, right? Too. Again, you can listen to everybody, but I like to bring myself to the table. I've been trained in this, and if you're a new agent, before you put yourself out there, know what you're doing. Because for me, just going through the schooling and taking the test was not enough. It's a whole world. um, and the last thing I'll say is always stay humble. Don't ever feel like you know everything because people read that. Um, I've had lenders come up to me and say, uh, James, because you're a new agent, I almost told that client to run away from you, but you seem like a good guy and you know what you're talking about. And I was like, wow, this is great. And I say this good guy thing as if it's like a character, but it's natural for me. Whether you're a real estate client or a seller, buyer, whatever, or a friend or my best friend of 15 years, I'm that person that's going to give you that authentic, transparent nature.
Perfect. All right, my friend, let's wrap this up in a nice little bow here. Okay.
Yeah.
What is your final words for Vulcan 7 Nation?
Listen, Vulcan 7 Nation, it works. That platform works so well, from the designing of my folders to my callbacks, my follow-up system. It works. But be ready for it. Be ready for it. It's an adrenaline roll that you'll always remember. And I've been with them, and I'm gonna stay with them.
There we go, baby. All right. So, James, someone's moving to Minneapolis, Minnesota,
Yes.
and they need like the best agent in the world. Okay. Or
Okay.
the most, what's the word? The most relaxed agent in the world. Okay. What, how do they get in touch with you?
All right. Well, you can get in touch with me by calling 612-229-3256 or email me at james@tkhomesmn.com.
Beautiful. All right, my friend. I want to say thank you so much for being here. This was absolutely amazing. Don't forget, by the way, trust the process
Yep.
and go make some money. You guys take care of yourselves. See you next week.